Action Shelf. The Action Shelf. The Action Shelf.
Welcome to The Action Shelf. The podcast celebrates the glory of B action movies. I'm John Campbell.
I'm Michael Listman.
Oh, Listman, you're alive.
I am. I've peeked out from beneath the rock that I was hiding under whilst sick.
Yeah.
I haven't listened to the Megaforce episode yet, but I'm excited to listen to you and Brendan talk about a great movie, and it's just great to know that the podcast is in good hands when I'm not able to be here. I just feel fortunate to know people like you and Brendan. So thank you for all of your kind words and your well wishes.
Absolutely, it was most respectful. It was a lot of everyone was very sad you weren't here. And you missed a great.
There was grieving.
There was a lot of grieving. It's the most crying that's ever been on the show. I just hope he's okay. And you missed a hell of a movie. You missed the epic motion picture that is Megaforce. But as I said on that, and yes, due to that, there's been some jumbling up of schedule. We were supposed to do this. This episode was supposed to come out before that, and we teased what will be next week's episode on that. So we'll end up teasing it again. But that's okay. But the thing that was, as we said, if you were going to miss one, that was the one to miss, because nothing about that movie will come back at year end for the Shelfies at all.
Gotcha. Now, John, do you think anything about the movie that we watched this week will come back for the Shelfies?
I think it has a firm chance at one of our new categories this year, which is actor most slumming it.
That's true.
I think it's the current front runner, because we watched 2019's The Courier, not to be confused with 2020's The Courier, or 1986's The Courier, or 2012's The Courier. How about you pick some new titles, folks? Because I will say, go ahead. I was going to say, if you type in The Courier, you have to actively avoid the more legitimate movie with Benedict Cumberbatch to watch this movie.
Yes.
This is one of those where they're like,
the internet's like, "Are you sure this is the? I think you mean the Benedict Cumberbatch one."
We've had a few of those, right? Where it's like, literally, your search engine is imploring you. I think you really do want to watch. I have
you best turn back.
The Benedict Cumberbatch movie is not like an amazing movie, but it's a pretty solid drama, and it's way better than this. Which is 2019's The Courier, a movie we totally fell for the marketing of, as has happened before, because this movie does, I almost said star, but I'm sorry, I should say feature or include in some parts someone I think we both rank pretty high on our favorite actors.
Yeah, one of the best actors of all time, honestly.
And and his finest work, I think, in this movie, right?
I think so. It's certainly his sleepiest work.
I think,
there were some scenes that were filmed where I was pretty sure he was fully napping.
He is well rested during the production of this movie. The Courier with... always sad to see this above an action shelf movie. Academy Award winner Gary Oldman.
And of course, this movie is about a young woman who decides to strike it on her own and open a curry shop.
Oh God, I wish, man. That sounds delightful. That sounds much more delightful than what I saw here. This is actually one where I like most of the cast of this movie, actually.
Sure.
But acting,
I didn't like anybody in this,
that's the thing. Is like I don't know that anyone here is bad, but the material is terrible. There's a couple people I think as you go down the cast list. There's a couple people I think are kind of weak, but I think all three of the name above title people are actors I like. Olga Kurylenko, who is the titular Courier, and Dermot Mulroney, who believe it, how could it even be possible? I think worked even less days on this than Gary Oldman.
Who is he in the movie?
He's the guy who's the like FBI chief agent that they keep calling.
Okay.
And he's a really good character actor.
Yeah,
and
he was pretty good too. Yeah, he was, all things considered.
He's in like
he didn't.
Yeah, he's in like a more big stuff a lot of the time.
Yeah.
So,
he didn't come out of this movie looking as bad as some other people. So
no. And Gary Oldman didn't come out of it looking bad because he put in very little. So it's like it's not an embarrassing performance by any means. And it really reminds me of Ben Kingsley in that Antonio Banderas movie, except doing even less.
Even less. Yes, exactly.
Ben Kingsley was actually on set with the other actors.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Because. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, the only thing better would have been if he Skyped in. You know what I mean? That's the only. That's the only way he could been in this movie less.
Well, this his placement in the plot reminds me a lot of Kelsey Grammer in that movie Money Plane we watched.
Yes.
Where it just keeps cutting back to him in a nice house.
Is that Gary Oldman's house, you think? Or
I don't know if it's probably not literally his house like Kelsey Grammer, but it's
okay.
I don't know if you did you see any? Did you look at any of the trivia for this?
I have not, no.
Because you'll love this. Gary Oldman only accepted the role after getting the director to agree to alter all of the acting cues in the script of sit, walk, and run to sit down sipping a beverage. So he basically made a movie going, as long as I don't have to fucking stand up, I'll be in your movie.
Oh man, I have a certain amount of respect for that, because you're just like, I don't feel like giving it 100% today. Just Gary, I will be in it. I will do you a favor, but I will sit down the whole fucking time.
Yeah,
I like that.
Well, apparently the writer said this was written specifically with Gary Oldman in mind, which shows in a couple places, because there's a couple times when they clearly were like, "Can you do that yelling thing you did in The Professional?" He has a couple of everyone moments in it.
He's got that, and then he plays music that his character was listening to in The Fifth Element.
It's the same piece of opera, yeah.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
Which is great. I love when movies this shitty make references to much better movies. It's like, oh yeah, I should be watching that.
Don't remind, because
instead of this.
Dude, The Professional, one of, maybe in my top 5 Oldman performances. He is absolutely bonkers villain in that movie, and Fifth Element as well. Well, I did actually kept thinking about this during this movie, not just because of Gary Oldman, but this really wants to be a Luc Besson film, right? Who made The Professional and The Fifth Element, but also wrote things like Taken and stuff like that. Sort of these like focused, intense little thrillers. The big joke about this movie is finally Die Hard in a parking garage.
If you like Die Hard, but we're thinking that movie had way too many interesting looking set pieces, then this is the movie for you.
Because, this whole movie is like thrill as they fight amongst cars, then in a stairway, then amongst more cars, then back in the stairway, then on the roof.
But very briefly on the roof. They can't be on the roof for too long, because then you'll see that it's all, the backgrounds are CG'd, but yeah.
We were joking that Gary Oldman only worked a couple days on this movie. This whole movie took just 18 days to film.
It feels like it. It really feels like it.
At what point, Lisman, did you realize the whole movie was going to be in the parking garage? Because that threw me. I didn't know that going in.
Neither did I. Well, because the movie starts with her being tied to a chair, and a car driving at her in a parking garage.
Right.
So as soon as, after that, as soon as she got to the parking garage, that's when it first, the idea first went into my head of oh no, that this is going to be a whole thing, isn't it?
Because that's they get through all the fighting in the building, and then they get out to the parking garage, and they're speeding away on a motorcycle. And I thought, okay, I'd kind of forgotten about the beginning because this movie does nothing to draw your attention to it. And I'm just sort of riding along, and I go like, oh, though I guess they'll speed out of the parking garage. And the second they lock the parking garage down, I'm like, oh shit, this whole movie's going to be in the parking garage, isn't it?
Yeah.
God damn
here's
it.
Here's the thing about a parking garage.
Yeah.
The first floor, the second floor, the third floor, all of the floors,
yes,
except for the roof, look exactly the same.
Did you say that's the problem? I think that's what the filmmakers were thrilled about.
Because like Die Hard, obviously in a building, but there's a lot of different sets and like locations in the building that keeps it visually interesting.
You have the lobby.
Like, they could have been anywhere on any floor at any point. There was never any like, where are people? You know,
I had no sense of how many levels this parking garage had. I'm like, is this a ground?
Yeah.
No, we got to be up a little bit. I don't know. Yeah, traveling.
They didn't even show the building from outside.
There's no establishing shots of it.
No.
And also, I think they only had probably about 5 or 6 cars. You keep seeing the same cars.
Yes. Yeah. Well, what is the plot of this movie? We should let people know in case they didn't watch it along with us this week.
Yeah. By the way, the one sentence IMDb description is only like the first 10 minutes of the movie, and it sounds like a better movie. A courier in London discovers that one of the packages she's transporting is a bomb. Well, that sounds kind of cool and exciting.
It does. Yeah, definitely.
Also, is it a bomb? It's actually a time-release anthrax or something like that, isn't
it's
it?
like it's like a dirty bomb, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could get away with calling it a bomb, I suppose.
The movie initially starts, with a thing I've grown so tired of, which is showing something and then going 48 hours earlier. Like, that's just such a tactic in movies that basically are like...
And then using black and white for any flashbacks. It's like, okay, I remember the early 2000s.
Yeah, this thing really, it does feel like 2019. How is this not 2006?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But yeah, you start with that, and then we're introduced to international criminal. That's about as much as we know about him. Just international bad guy. Ezekiel Mannings, played by Gary Oldman. Yes, with an eye patch. Was the eye patch his idea? You bet your ass it was.
Well, yeah, because it's half of his face that he doesn't have to, show.
I'm almost not in this movie.
His left eye was in sleep mode, underneath the eye patch, so he was half asleep.
I can sleep with one. I can be in the movie with one eye closed, quite literally.
Quite literally.
I like that this same year he was also in The Laundromat, which is a Steven Soderbergh movie. So, a little bit different there. That's him and Antonio Banderas. By the way, Laundromat, pretty good. Pretty fun little movie. Because most of it is Antonio Banderas and Gary Oldman together. So, unlike this movie, he's actually in scenes. And if anyone's not, everyone needs to watch Slow Horses on Apple, Gary Oldman's TV show. It's amazing. It's so good. It's one of the best roles he's had in years. And I can't wait to see him in Oppenheimer, the new Chris Nolan movie. So this is this is just like Gary needs a vacation home or something, right? Because it's not like his career's hit the skids. He's just like, I've got a day or two. I could use a couple million.
Yes.
And then I'll get back to Chris Nolan.
So this woman delivers something.
Because that's the thing is they we start with they arrest Ezekiel Mannings in the church. Also, can I put a moratorium on any movie using Ave Maria, because it is so...
Please, Jesus Christ. Yeah, I wrote that down too. Oh, God. Stop. It's been overdone.
Yeah,
we don't need to do it anymore.
Anytime anyone wants to add like gravitas or sort of grandeur to their action thriller or whatever, they throw that in there. I'm always just like, no,
there's
stop.
There's other operas. There's other classical music you can use. Look for something else. It's just laziness at this point.
Mission Impossible Rogue Nation, I think it's from Carmen. They use this whole piece that becomes like a thematic thread throughout the movie, and it's very well done. and it's great, and it is like, thank God it's not Ave Maria. Are you kidding me?
It's always.
Yeah.
What is the first movie to use Ave Maria? There's not any way to know that, but
I'm just going to Google it real quick and just see if I can find it. I'm not going to because it does seem like, I mean, honestly, I mean, that obviously is so long that it's no, it doesn't look like I can find. There's just like what movies have used it, not.
Okay.
But I mean, like, it's in Fantasia in 1940, so
yeah.
You know, I think that's the. Yeah. And I just like, there's so many people going, what gangster movie had Ave Maria? There's a lot of Google questions about that. It's like half of them is the answer.
Yeah, exactly.
So yes, they arrest him. He's under house arrest, which is kind of odd. Once again, though, he's on trial for murder, but this seems much bigger than just a murder trial, isn't it? This is like a crimes against humanity trial.
He seems like an Al Capone kind of like he's a super international criminal of some sort. He's like Cobra Commander. Or something.
That's the thing is this movie is kind of grounded, yet he seems to be straight out of a comic book.
Yes. But again, they don't really get into. The only thing they get into is that he murders somebody else, and that is what he's specifically being arrested for.
Yes, that is what this witness saw him do, is shoot a guy and fake a suicide because he shoots him under the chin, and don't worry, we'll see it like 3-4 times. So.
We will, yeah. So if you miss it the first time when you have to get up and use the restroom, don't worry.
I also want to
really consider it.
The big thing I want to point out, and we're going to do it on Last to Be Curious at some point. So I know you haven't seen this movie, but this movie, including Gary Oldman's presence in it, is almost the exact same thing as the movie The Hitman's Bodyguard.
Yeah,
Gary Oldman is a dictator on trial in the UN for crimes against humanity. And Samuel L. Jackson is testifying against him. And he sends a bunch of assassins to kill him that Ryan Reynolds has to protect him. The only difference is that movie costs probably 10 times what this one does. And is like a globe-trotting adventure as they're chased all over the world by bad guys.
See, that's the thing. You hear that there's a courier and you think she needs to get from point A to point B in a certain amount of time or something bad will happen.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
She needs to use her skills as a courier to accomplish whatever it is. No, that's you'd be wrong if you thought that.
Well, and especially looking at the poster for it, it's got her in London on her cool motorcycle on the streets, and there's Gary Oldman. By the way, they're never on screen together, these two actors.
No.
And yeah, I am thinking like, okay, I mean, I thought this was going to be like a chase movie. Instead, thrill is she rides her motorcycle sometimes in a parking garage.
From one floor to another.
I know, it's just like, because it's just like the poster is promising like speed and we're on a motorcycle and vroom, vroom, when we're gonna, but then it's just like
adrenaline.
Yeah, no man, get ready to see the same fight scene 8 times. Every fight looks exactly the same.
And this, yes, it does. And this parking garage is connected to a building that this witness is hiding in.
Yes,
I assume.
Well, that's and apparently this is also a story of literally everyone in the FBI being crooked.
Yes, it's one of those. That should honestly be. That could be a bingo.
Yes, we should add that to the bingo slot. The other thing, this movie hits a couple of bingo. I can't remember. We've talked about doing.
We do have to update that.
Yeah, a new bingo card, because I don't know if background as special ops or Navy SEAL is on there, because because she's so mysterious. But then at a certain point we learn no, she used to be spec ops, and you're like, of course she did.
Yeah.
And I mean, I do really like Olga Kurylenko. She was a Bond girl. She's in Quantum of Solace. She's over in Marvel now, so this also is not a career ender for her, thank God.
That's good.
Yeah, mild spoilers for Black Widow, but at this point she's in other movies as this character. So, but she plays Taskmaster in the Marvel universe.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah,
cool.
So she's, and I did think when she put on her super powered helmet, I'm like, wait, she has a cool futuristic helmet in Marvel that analyzes how people fight so she can defend against it. You know, a little bit. Yeah, believe it or not, Black Widow looks a little better than this movie.
That's strange. I don't believe that.
But as I say, I like her, but she does not read as somebody in Spec Ops. Now, I'm not saying that you can't have a woman. We've talked about this. We love Michelle Rodriguez in the Fast and the Furious movies. That woman feels like she could be in Spec Ops.
I'd believe that, yeah.
Yeah, it's just like, I believe her as the assassin or the courier or whatever.
Yeah.
But the idea that this very slim, lithe woman was in, like, the Army Special Forces, former CIA, something like that, totally. But, yeah, it just seems... Yeah. Also, her and her brother... Let's just get into her backstory here. Her and her brother were both part of the same Special Forces team. I don't think that would happen.
It wouldn't. I don't remember this because this movie was so boring that I sort of tuned in and out. And as soon as... Because this movie does the great thing of... Okay, we need to do some character development or some character work. So all of the character work is going to be in one monologue that they deliver to the other person.
Yep.
And then they're like, all right, we're done. And then let's get back to the movie now.
Well, because the whole first half of the movie, people are just like, who is this woman? What's her deal? And then, yeah, it is just like, hold on, we have a second between shootouts. Let me tell you my tragic backstory.
Yeah,
so
we're in a closet somewhere.
Yeah, she and her brother were both members of a Special Forces team.
Okay.
And a mission went bad and he got killed, and she blames herself for that. So she deserted the army and gave up on her. Which, by the way, what army? Because Olga Kurylenko is Ukrainian, so I have no idea where. Exactly. But I don't know that the character is supposed to be Ukrainian.
I mean, her accent is certainly present in her performance
in
this movie.
I've never seen a movie where she wasn't Ukrainian.
Right.
Or at least, I mean, she's Russian in Black Widow because that's all. Everybody's Russian in Black Widow.
Right.
But so yeah, it is. But
did you think her backstory was going to become more important later on in the film? Like they were going to call back to it or something?
Well, they think they are, right? With this whole thing about her saving this other guy is meant to be her redemption for not saying. But it's all like, oh, come on, movie, you didn't earn that.
Mm-hmm. No, and this character that she's saving, played by Amit Shah.
Yeah,
I'm not sure. Is awful. He's obnoxious.
He's horrible.
He doesn't listen to her. He just yells at like, oh, you don't even have a gun. What's wrong with you? It's like, what are you bringing to the table, you idiot? Like,
yeah. No, I know that.
You know,
I hate characters like this. They do this a lot.
Yes.
These characters who are just like, oh, he's, the person they have to protect is just always yammering, and it's always terrible. It's always a horrible instinct.
Yes.
This guy's in a lot of stuff. I don't know that I can really blame this guy as an actor per se, or like say he's a bad actor.
Yeah.
Because he does a lot of work, and he comes from British theater, so he's probably been good in a bunch of. He's one of those guys where it's like I have seen a lot of the stuff he's in. I don't remember him in a lot of it, but he does a lot of BBC television and movies and lots of stuff on stage. So he seems like a competent professional actor. It's just, my God. I mean, across the board, everybody's doing the best they can with a very weak script.
Yeah, the script was maybe the worst part of the movie, and then the editing and the pacing was the second worst.
Specifically, the editing of the hand-to-hand fight scenes is horrible.
It's the exact thing I don't want to see in a fight scene, which is so many cuts, because clearly they're cutting around the fact that the actors do not know the choreography.
It's that, and that's the thing, but it's
putting
like
it together and
it takes it even further. I swear, every single move there's a cut.
Yes.
I mean, it's not even like, because sometimes we see that in movies, but they'll still do like 3-4 moves and then cut. Here it's like one punch cut, another punch cut, one kick cut. And I just found it like, oh God.
It's impossible to follow.
Yeah, it's really, and
not that the choreography is very good to begin with.
I mean, actually, I have no idea because it was cutting so much. I couldn't even get a sense of how anyone was moving. But I can't imagine it was. I can't imagine they were hiding good choreography in there.
Probably not.
I'm looking at this director who's a British filmmaker named Zachary Adler.
The writer and director.
Writer
Actually.
and
We have an
director.
auteur.
Yeah. I
Mhm.
love, here's a picture of him on set directing Gary Oldman. You better believe Gary Oldman is sitting down. But yeah, this guy, he's directed a lot of like low budget British crime movies. He did
I mean, this is the movie he's most known for. So
Yeah.
if that tells you anything,
He made two separate movies about the Krays. I don't know if you know who they were twin gangsters who ruled London in the 1960s. They're real. They were real guys. The only problem with this is I've never seen this movie because there's a movie where Tom Hardy plays them, and it's great, and you should see that. And it's called Legend. And that's kind of a thing where I'm like, why would I watch another thing when I can watch Tom Hardy play both of those guys, and he's incredible, playing dual roles because he's good enough to share the screen with himself. Yeah. So this guy, and that's the thing about this movie. It's not like, I mean, aside from, I agree, the editing is horrible. But the basic shot composition is like fine. They had a decent enough camera. It looks mostly professional, but it's just so bleh.
It's boring. This movie is it does the worst thing a movie can do, which is be boring.
That's it exactly. It's not. That's why
aggressively boring.
It's not the worst movie we've seen, but that's in some ways kind of bad because it's not spectacularly silly bad or something like that. You know.
Yes.
That's we've always talked about. We would rather have a movie be absolutely awful than this. This is just good.
Yeah. Can I since I didn't watch last week's movie, although you did mention to me that it was definitely something worth missing.
Yeah.
Which movie was better?
Well,
this one or last week's?
Oh Jesus. This movie is technically better. I think.
Okay.
Megaforce is so fucking repetitive, and repetitive even more than this in that most of it doesn't even have people. It's just vehicles firing missiles and things like that. So there's at least people to look at here. This is
okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Like Megaforce is so in love with itself and just going like, look at how cool all this stuff is. Now I will say though, this does not have the absolutely silly and insane moments that Megaforce does in between all the boredom. That's the only thing that makes Megaforce kind of interesting. But that is 20 minutes of a much longer movie that's completely insane.
Yeah.
So that's the thing. So yes, we have Gary. I mean, and that's the thing is Gary Oldman is fine because he's always. Once again, I feel it's very similar to the performance Ben Kingsley gave in that Antonio Banderas movie. Where it was like these guys are never going to be bad in anything. They just can't.
Yeah, they've got good instincts. So
yeah,
even if they're phoning it in, it's still pretty good.
But it does feel like a good actor phoning it in that way, right? It just sort of just going like he's always like conserving energy because we've seen him play this kind of bad guy in 18 other movies.
And 18 better movies.
And that's the thing is I don't feel like he's doing that thing we love sometimes when it's like, well, I'm a good actor and this is trash, so I'm going to just sink my teeth in and chew the scenery. No, he's always just kind of like, I'm doing what's baseline expected of me, and then I'm going to go home.
And I'm going to sleep. Yeah, I'm gonna nap again when I'm not on camera. Yeah.
Hold on, I got to finish reading this new Chris Nolan script, and then I'll get back to this. Because I'm learning my lines for another movie actively right now. Is what it is. Just it's just so.
It does feel that way.
This movie comes just 2 years after he wins the Academy Award too, which is crazy. Like he wins the Oscar, and then it's like I don't know, Courier.
Is there like an element of like I've won an Oscar, so now I'm a little bit bulletproof as far as my career goes? Like I'm never fully going to like not be allowed in sort of bigger budget, better stuff, you know.
Well, I will say there is sort of a like the movie he makes immediately after winning the Oscar is a submarine movie with Gerard Butler, which is not that is much better than this, but it certainly is not prestige material.
Right, exactly.
And then this.
And then
this. And like he makes a couple of other forgettable like thrillery things. before
I think
going.
it helps if you have friends like Christopher Nolan. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well,
Who
because
you
then
know will be bringing you back into good stuff.
well, because that is he makes a couple of like lower budget actiony thriller things, kind of like this, and then boom, 2020 he's in Mank with David Fincher, and he's the star of that.
Right.
And you're like,
Right,
okay, there we
exactly.
go, done. And then now he's doing Slow Horses, as I said, on Apple, and he's going to be in the new Nolan movie. So there are people who will just always cast him, and
Sure.
he
I would cast him in a movie.
Oh, well, and that's the thing is you're
You
talking
know?
about. He also has such clout and respect. It's never going to be like, oh God, Gary Oldman. We don't need that guy.
Yeah.
Even if he
You're
made
right,
20 of
exactly.
these in a row, somebody would still go, ooh, Gary Oldman. He's great.
And it worked. Like we said, the marketing worked. We
It
watched
did.
it because Gary Oldman is.
This
in it,
is a
and he has
movie
it
I think
uncast.
we purposely on the show have been trying to skip just like absolutely bland looking shit these days because there's only so much time in the day.
There's gotta be a hook.
I think that's the
hook
thing.
us
We're
in.
looking we're actively seeking out more of the insane stuff that we're trying to,
Yes.
so this is
Yes.
something but it was just like, ooh, Gary Oldman and Gary Oldman with an eye patch.
Yeah, you can't not watch that.
I know, it was just like,
even
ooh.
if we regret it now.
Definitely
but
regret
it's
it
too
now.
hard to
I mean,
resist.
I can't say I'm like too surprised this is how he's used in the movie because, as we did, he is once he's under house arrest, he never leaves that location of the house.
Yes.
And as stated in the IMDb trivia, he does basically sit the whole movie.
He sits and he looks like he's sleeping and he's listening to classical music and drinking beer.
Yeah.
Like that is the entirety of his performance. in this
Now,
movie.
can I talk about somebody I actually think is pretty bad in this? Is Callie Taylor, who plays his daughter. I thought she was actually
Yes.
pretty bad.
Oh Jesus.
Yeah.
She might have been the worst performance in the movie.
I think
she was pretty bad.
She, like, every time, and she has done very little.
Okay.
And looks like some Hallmark Christmas stuff.
Okay, that tracks.
What did
Again, same industry.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. There's so much crossover there. She's also in the movie Rogue, which I think we do have, or at least have talked about on the schedule, with which Megan Fox. That's her
Okay.
straight-to-video action thing in the jungles or some shit. I don't know. But
Okay.
I found her actively bad in this movie.
She was actively.
And if
bad,
I told
yes.
you she's not really British, would you be surprised?
Oh, was she supposed to be British?
I think so. Isn't she doing an accent as Gary Oldman's daughter? Trying to do Gary Oldman's accent?
I didn't hear a British accent. I heard.
To be fair, I may
something
not have
else.
paid
I don't know what I
attention.
heard.
She's from Florida in real life. I just found, maybe I just blocked out any time she was talking because she's so boring. Every line delivery is so dull.
I just assumed she like grew up in the States, but there was like a separation.
Could be. I've already forgotten her performance.
Yeah. I was not getting any sort of accent.
Did you enjoy the scene where she, out of nowhere, and she's such a non-character, but just they do a whole scene that focuses on her sexually intimidating an FBI agent?
Yeah, but there wasn't really any setup for that.
No.
And there also wasn't really any payoff
Nope.
for doing that, so there was no point to it, really.
It's just like,
I don't...
okay.
Because even he wasn't really super bothered by it. He's just like, oh, well, that's kind of a mean thing to do, as opposed to like really being affected.
I don't really think I had that common, lady. Jesus Christ.
Okay, well, I've had better days, but I've had worse. So it's all part of the job.
That guy's not a character. She's not really even a character. It's just like
exactly.
That scene ended, and I went, "What am I watching?
Why?
Yeah,
why this scene?"
Well, and then, I mean, if that's not bad enough, there is also an accidental boob grab later that I really hate.
I groaned so loud that my neighbors complained. It was a deafening groan came out of our apartment.
Yes, once the assassination attempt, she delivers this package, as we said, that's a case. She doesn't know what's in it, but she delivers it to the safe house where they have this guy, and it releases a cyanide gas or something.
Sure.
And
everybody dies except for him.
Yes. And the whole idea is they're going to
not very
frame her for having done that.
Yes.
Because
that is
everyone in the FBI appears to be crooked in this movie.
Yes, and he is literally phoning in to be a witness on this digital. How often does this happen? Because this seemed like a pretty convenient excuse to not have a courtroom full of a bunch of extras.
Yeah, that's the thing. Is like I think it. I mean, especially now, it probably happens a lot more in a pandemic world.
Yes.
But I don't think at this point
this
this
is
was
the year
happening.
before.
Yeah, I don't think this is happening a lot then,
yeah.
And probably even less so now. But yeah, the idea that he has to be a major witness in a case. I mean, at the very least, what they probably should have done is have it be, because what they might have done was film a deposition and then play it back in court. That they might do, but the idea that he's going to Skype in his testimony and literally...
That's what she could be delivering. She could be delivering his deposition.
Sure.
Like
she comes there to pick
why
up
not
the
do
deposition.
that?
Way easier. Way simpler. We've already simplified this movie. That's a big... I feel like we say this a lot on the show, but it's like, why are you needlessly complicating your film with like plot beats? They always feel... Movies always feel like they have to do more than they really need to. Well, and then the thing that's funny about that, of course, is that's needlessly complicated, but then the rest of the movie is literally just people running around a parking garage.
Yes.
And hiding under... How many times can you see someone hide underneath a car?
I don't know, John. I don't know. There's so many times.
There's so many times. And then,
stopped.
How about when... Oh, I love when they... So there's all these generic henchmen that are chasing her around this garage. But then I like when they call in the real badass guy. And you're like...
Yeah, this guy really gives off a badass vibe, you know?
He looks exactly the same as every other henchman.
He didn't even... I mean, he might have been a big dude, but they didn't film him in a way to show off how big this guy was.
No.
You know, like, to be an intimidating figure.
Wow.
They didn't film him in any way
This guy is 6'6".
So he should be.
Yeah.
He should be intimidating. But instead, he's piloting around a drone like it's an RC car and it's supposed to be scary.
That was what I was going to bring up, is how stupid it is when he pulls out a drone. It's a fucking parking garage. And he's like, gonna get you with this drone, lady.
He's got these stupid, like, sunglasses that are supposed to be like AR goggles or whatever that's showing him from the perspective of the drone. I'm like, this does not look cool. Nothing about this is cool. This is maybe the stupidest thing you could have gone with, but okay.
This guy plays a henchman in a lot of stuff.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Because
But yeah, you rarely see this guy like compared to anybody else in the movie. Even when he's fighting the main character, you never really get a sense of how big he is.
You know what's crazy is I'm looking at his IMDb and there are behind the scenes pictures of him from this movie, and the behind the scenes pictures show off his size better than the movie does.
Yeah, exactly.
Of just like photos of him on set with the actors, and he's towering over everybody. Oh, here he is fighting Gerard Butler, and Angel Has Fallen.
Well, there you go.
We might need to... That might be a future Last to Be Curious, is the Has Fallen trilogy.
How many? Oh, a trilogy.
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
Gotcha.
Olympus Has Fallen, London Has Fallen, and then Angel Has Fallen. And I believe there's rumors of a fourth one called Night Has Fallen.
Oh, you forgot about the original one, Falling Down.
That's where it all started. Falling down.
Yeah,
Because he was falling down, then he has fallen.
Exactly.
Oh man, yeah. What they even do hire this. I also thought it was dumb when he set up with his sniper rifle once again in the fucking parking. He was on a rooftop earlier. The sniper's perch.
Yeah, he was in a different building, but then somehow he got in the parking garage.
Even though the whole place is locked down, and it makes you think, if he can get in, why can't our heroes get out?
Great question, John. It's because he can teleport. They forgot to show it. They cut out the scene. Yeah, he has the superpower of being able to teleport.
This guy does play a character named Siegfried on Vikings, and that totally adds up to me.
Yep, that tracks.
I've never watched any Vikings, but he seems like a Vikings actor. But yeah, looking at all the bad guy actors, they all look the same. Such beloved characters as Fripp and Wax and Greenwood and Slash and Jagger and Ringo and Pablo and Django.
And Frank. That might have been somebody else.
I don't know, but those definitely all, like, there were several points in this movie where she'd be fighting somebody, and I go, didn't she already kill this guy?
Yes. And you're like, she could have. I don't know.
The other thing go ahead.
Go ahead.
Oh, the thing I was going to say, the other thing that pissed me off about the fights, and this is something as two people who do this show because we love movie fights, all the fights are the same. There is no like, oh, this is this fight, or that's one of the things I love about, like, obviously something like the John Wick franchise that is top tier action, but every fight you remember is like, that's the Hall of Mirrors fight, that's the glass office fight, that's the this fight, that's the subway fight, that's the
the hook, what's the like interesting thing about the fight that makes it memorable.
Well, and I was thinking about an amazing movie we both love, The Raid, that is all in one building where things do kind of look the same, but every fight does still have its own. Oh, this is the one where they fight with the fluorescent tubes. This is the one where they do this. They still are doing that. There was one point when this movie came close to almost doing that, and that's the thing when she gives the witness her gun, and he goes, well, what weapons you can use? And she goes over to a toolbox and goes, don't worry about me. And I go, there you go. She's going to fight guys now with just the tools in a toolbox. It doesn't really pay off in any kind of visceral way.
She stabs one person with a screwdriver, and that's it.
Yeah,
that is the entire of it. Yeah,
Lame.
That could have been cool.
Yeah,
like the Raid 2 has like somebody with like a hatchet, I think.
Yeah,
and there's another person with like another weapon. Like,
there's the Hammer Girl in it too. Yeah,
that's what it was.
Hammer Girl.
Yeah,
whose character is only known as Hammer Girl, and it's awesome.
Sure.
Yeah, there are things like that.
But, just do that.
One of my favorite fights in any movie is the one in John Wick Chapter 3 when they're in the weapons museum and they're just bashing cases open and grabbing different weapons out of stuff. Now, once again, I know this is low budget, but you can still be creative. Obviously, you can't do what John Wick does, but you could, like I said, there was an almost idea where it's like, okay, now she's being forced to, you always think about that. We always talk about this when you come to action stuff. It's like, it's all set. It's all problem solution, right? You put a problem in front of your character, they have to solve it, and then back and forth. Here, it's just every problem is solved by her running at a guy and hitting him some more, and the hitting is bad.
Yeah, and the hitting is bad, or it's her waiting around a corner and just stabbing somebody, and killing them in one kill.
Oh, way too many,
or shooting them in the back of the head.
Way too many very boring. Just gun or knife deaths.
Yes.
Actually, the super cool sniper guy gets a somewhat interesting death because she kills him with a windshield wiper. I'll give him that. I've never seen that before.
That's true. That is at least different than all of the other deaths.
I did like that.
That would be kill of the movie.
I think that is absolutely kill of the movie. There's a couple decent individual deaths, like how a guy actually dies, because there's also one where a guy gets run over by a car and you actually see his head get crushed like a watermelon. That was kind of cool.
Yeah.
But those are...
Yeah, the CG wasn't great, but, at least it's different than how other people
that's kind of the thing here. I'm just looking at my notes here, because there's really not much in this movie. Oh, they almost do something cool once again, where there's a point where she picks up one of the bad guy's guns. She goes, damn, they're smart guns. You need the correct palm print to use them. And I thought, well, there's an idea. They don't
cut off the person's hand and then use that.
Yeah,
I feel like we saw that in one of the Fast and the Furious
Hobbs
movies.
and Shaw does it. Yeah, and then there's also
that's right, that's what it was.
Skyfall has the Bond has the Walther with the palm print on it, and which then sets up the reverse where a bad guy tries to shoot him with his own gun and he can't, and that guy then gets eaten by a Komodo dragon, which rules.
That is cool. Yeah.
One of my favorite moments in Skyfall. It's a very James Bond moment where you're just like, and Komodo dragon. Okay, sure.
All right.
Yeah,
sure,
of course the bad guy has a pet Komodo dragon. And I guess that's the thing.
Speaking of bad guy, what did you think of William Moseley and his performance in this movie?
Thought he was pretty weak, not gonna lie.
Yeah. It really seemed like he was trying to go for the unhinged bad guy. But was falling short on every single beat.
I agree. I'll give him some points for trying. This movie's so dull that he is trying to bring some energy.
Yes.
This guy, by the way, was one of the main characters in the Chronicles of Narnia movies when he was a kid.
Yeah.
I think I saw the first one and then none of the others. So
I haven't seen any of them. Yeah.
It also says here in his IMDb profile he auditioned for the role of Harry Potter. Man, can't see why he didn't get that. He's so good here.
So strange. Yeah.
Because I don't think this script ever crossed Daniel Radcliffe's desk.
Probably not. And if it did, he'd be like, "Oh, this is going into the fire."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, good. More for the fire.
More kindling. All right. Excellent.
Man. By the way, if you haven't seen the movie, is it The Lost? It's not The Lost City. Is it The Lost City? Whatever the thing with Channing Tatum and Sandra Bullock is, but it has Daniel Radcliffe having a lot of fun as a supervillain in it. Maybe it is. The Lost
I remember
City.
hearing about that.
I think it is The Lost City. Not like an amazing movie, but a totally fun movie. Yeah, Lost City, and he's having a great time being like a cackling bad guy in it. So
yeah, he's done a really good job picking interesting projects to work on.
He has maybe is one of the smartest weatherings of what should, by all intents and purposes, have been a career killer, which is he's Harry Potter. But he has at every turn made such interesting choices, and he's such a good actor.
I think, and you can see him grow as an actor throughout the Harry Potter movies too, which is nice.
Yeah.
I just like to see when somebody's able to go from a big franchise to really stretching themselves and
especially as a
risks.
kid, when that's so hard. Because Ron hasn't been as successful with that.
Yeah. What's his face? I don't even remember
Rupert Grint.
his name, but I guess he's pretty good in Servant, but
I don't. It's made by M. Night Shyamalan, so I do not watch it.
Yeah,
that is
exactly.
If his name is on something, no, he's not gonna fool me anymore,
and I will avoid it. Yeah, no.
I found him to be. I mean, like I said, he's not like embarrassingly bad, but you're just like, oh, buddy, no.
It kind of is like there is something embarrassing about it because it is so earnest in his, like, he is so clearly going for something, and seeing him fall on his face, it is sad, like, for like an actor watching another actor try to do something and fail. I mean, hopefully he learned something from it. He learned about what his range is.
Yeah, I was gonna say, because I think it's more of a miscasting that he's a bad actor. It's just like, you are not this guy, man.
Exactly. Yeah, and he has instincts; they're just wrong. Yeah,
right. Yeah, and he certainly has done other stuff. And like I said, I'm not. This is not me going. He's bad, but he is bad in this for sure.
Yes. Yeah.
And I don't know, whether that's script directing, his own instincts. It's a little bit of all of it, I think, here. But yeah, he definitely. But it's one of those things too, where it's just like, obviously they spent all their money to get Gary Oldman. And I think probably a lot for Dermot Mulroney too, who at least has some level of cachet and also worked a day on this, and they put him on the poster. Yeah. And then Olga Kurylenko, who has enough cachet with just the Bond stuff alone, that when you start going down that cast list, you don't have a lot of money left to hire real top people. So you get the kid from Chronicles of Narnia who's trying to transition into adult roles.
And you get only one location that you can really film.
Oh, boy.
Or I guess two.
I mean, this takes me back to, what was that Bruce Willis movie we watched where the whole thing was in a warehouse?
That was Hard Kill.
Yeah, that's right, because it was, I was just trying to, it was some variation of Die Hard.
Die Hard, yeah.
Yeah, Hard Kill, yeah. Man, that was Die Hard in a warehouse. This is Die Hard in a parking garage. What boring place can we see Die Hard in next?
Well, I'm sure we'll see plenty more.
I
don't think they'll ever stop making Die Hard-esque action movies.
It's insane. I mean, you think about how long ago that movie came out, and they're still replicating that formula. Same thing with Speed. Yeah. We still see Speed on a whatever, And now, of course, as we talked about, the new thing is John Wick plus whatever.
Yeah.
I saw the John Wick. Oh boy, I if I hadn't already seen it and known how bad it is, I would suggest we do the Robin Hood movie that was trying to be John Wick Robin Hood.
Oh no,
it's a total,
that sounds awful.
It's a total action job movie, but it's pretty boring. Like I said,
no.
so I would say we skip it. But it was trying to do the way John Wick does stuff with guns. It's also 2 hours long, so forget that. But it was trying to do the thing that John Wick does with guns, with bows and arrows. But literally, it had people like
they're inherently different weapons.
I know, but but they had guys coming in and like clearing rooms with a pulled back bow, but like moving them like a spec ops guy would move a rifle. And I just went, it was so stupid. It was so stupid. I do want to do a month at some point of like the public domain things like King Arthur, Robin Hood. We've got Three Musketeers. I feel like that's a month where like because these are movies that I frequently have talked with people about this. Like every couple years they go, you know what people like? Robin Hood. And that's free. It's free to use.
Tarzan. Hey, did you know Tarzan's free to use? Let's film another one.
That's sort of the thing. And you're like, well, sometimes they're good, but also sometimes just because anyone can do it. But it is sort of like, I also feel like I don't know that anybody's going to crack King Arthur again. Like, it feels like there have been enough.
I think so. Yeah, they pretty much nailed it with Holy Grail, so I don't think they need to
I mean, in some ways, yeah. I mean, I think a lot of people, including myself, might say Excalibur if you want the series version. But
Excalibur.
Weirdly, Holy Grail is one of the best King Arthur movies. Yeah.
It's pretty good. Did you see was it the Green Knight? Apparently,
yeah, and that was kind of a good thing where it's like you're not just doing the King Arthur story.
Yeah,
it's like yeah, there you go, stuff in the world of King Arthur. Well, there was going to be that attempt to do King Arthur as Warner Brothers tried to do as a shared universe, where it's like we'll make a Lancelot movie, then a Galahad movie, then a Gawain movie, and then we'll bring them all together as a Knights of the Round Table.
Nobody wants that.
Nope.
Nobody wants that.
Actually, that's very on point for what we'll be talking about next week. So just hold on to that because. Somebody trying to do that might be what we're talking about next week. You do get some. They try to do some of the Die Hard-esque walkie-talkie stuff, but it's just not anything.
Somebody talking over a PA, you know.
Oh, her night vision helmet that exists for one scene before it breaks.
Or just
that really made me laugh.
And it has the like Iron Man, shot of like, Iron Man in the helmet shot with her wearing it.
Man,
hilarious.
That's another Iron Man.
We've seen that a couple of times.
I was going to say that's another Iron Man's another movie that had like a major influence on action films. And that was so praised when that movie came out because they're like, "Oh my god, Favreau cracked how you do an actor in a full helmet like that." And also Downey always had the sweetest gig because he would just film all those scenes in a chair on a green screen.
Yeah.
You just go, so what am I doing? It's like, oh, missiles on, or whatever. I'm on it, Cap. Great. What's the next line? Yeah. I mean, there really isn't much movie here. I mean, like I said, they occasionally they do stuff where they like try to set something up. I'm just cruising through my notes here. You do get the trying to be unhinged bad guy when he's just going run rabbit run rabbit run and you're like, dude, I don't know anything that's your deal as a character. So
right, he did a lot of like, because he also is like Courier. I think it's a Warriors like kind of a thing. He's like, I know what I'll do, I'll rip off the Warriors.
And that's another one we see. Warriors is still influencing a lot of stuff too. Man, it's you realize, but you realize just how much is cribbed from other stuff in a lot of these movies. And that's the thing with this movie. It's just not egregiously bad. It's just, you're just going like, oh god.
My notes are, let's see here, pretty early on, bored, then bored again, then boring, kill me, when will it end, nothing is interesting about this movie, a fucking drone, really, what's next, an RC car.
You know what? And actually, I kind of like the RC car chase that's in the Deadpool.
Yeah. Yeah, that well, because that movie has a sense of humor about
Yes,
itself. Like you can have something as silly as like a remote controlled like vehicle
and
being a weapon,
it's a
and
good director playing on
yeah,
I'm going to shoot the RC car like it's a normal car chase. So it's
yes,
purposely
yes.
like the shots are designed in a clever way. There's nothing clever in this movie.
No, no. And they didn't even have a real drone. The drone was CG, uh, for
Yeah. Oh yeah.
whatever
Oh
reason.
yeah.
Uh,
And also, how does
but
she defeat the drone? She just kind of gets the side of it and smashes it with a bat or something.
yeah, yeah. She
What?
doesn't outsmart anything. It's just stupid. Like, yeah, exactly. She just hits it with a pipe or something. I don't even remember.
Yeah, it's just so boring. You're just like, oh, well, she doesn't. She doesn't do. This is something that drives me insane in action movies, and especially with action heroes. Is that you
Yeah.
establish this character because these movies, as always, and is on our bingo card, is the best of the best. But she never does anything smart. It's just brute attack. There's no tactics.
Yes.
She doesn't do anything.
Nothing about her. Yeah. Nothing about her feels special forces. You know, like her move hiding behind a car doesn't feel special
Right,
forces.
right.
Her pointing a gun doesn't. Yeah. Nothing about her performance screams special forces.
Well, because that's the thing about like the thing that makes Die Hard work so well is you're constantly following John McClane thinking his way through stuff.
Exactly.
It's always if I could do
Yeah.
this. He often is trying to avoid actively going hand to hand with people. And here,
Yeah,
this
'cause
woman
that
is
will
just
not
like,
end well.
"There's a guy over there. Ah, I'm gonna kill you."
What did you think of the scene where she turns the lights out
Yeah.
and then is just slowly running past one man with a box cutter and just cutting him periodically? Did you enjoy that fight scene?
I did not. I
I mean,
thought that
calling
was.
it a fight scene is a stretch, honestly.
I found it very silly, and just the because every time she would run by him, it wasn't like a cool like I think they wanted to do like a where is she like a Batman
Yes.
kind of thing, and she keeps slicing him and slicing him, but instead you could just see her go.
And because the lights were like they were out, but it was just replaced with red lights, so it was still pretty bright. So you could clearly see her.
That's a thing that really got me about it too. Was I'm going like, oh wait, am I? Because the guys, I'm like, why can't he see her? Oh, we're supposed to think the red is just darkness.
Yeah, I guess so. But then the next person she fights can see her in the red light.
Yeah.
So then you're like, what are the rules of this work, like of this filmmaking? I can't follow what they're trying to tell me visually.
Yeah, no, it's very dumb. And that's the thing about it is you just go like it's not very inventive, and it's not using once again that was one attempt to try to be atmospheric with the movie.
Yes.
And they completely whiffed. Any attempt to do anything.
Yes.
The movie's either incredibly bland or it's totally failing at its attempt to do anything.
Yes. Yes.
I do have a couple other things from the trivia for this movie.
Oh, great.
Because
Yeah.
because there's a lot of stupid statements, obviously, because we've seen that it's one of those things where obviously people talk up their own movies and stuff like that, and that's cool. But like this guy talking about how this character is a tribute to Sigourney Weaver is Ripley. Oh, fuck off! Are you kidding me?
I mean, I guess the haircut in this movie and like the messy hair, I guess you could say you could see some similarities there, but that's kind of where it ends. You know, there's nothing about the character that is, Ripley or anything. So I don't know.
Yeah, and of course, there's the whole thing about this was a script, and then when this director came on to rewrite it, he changed it to a female lead, and that's when he's going like, "Yeah, it's just like Ripley, man." And you're like, "No, it's not. Do not insult Ripley, please."
Please don't.
I also
Again,
feel
don't think
like
of a better film.
it is, and the other thing is, I just feel like that's also so lazy. I feel like anyone who writes a female action character always brings up Ripley, and look, Ripley is an amazing character in the history of film.
Yeah.
But like it's always just like just because it's a woman who does action doesn't mean she's Ellen Ripley. I think that's the thing about it too. That is, it in some ways speaks to the lack of female action heroes that there's only so many you can call upon
to draw on. Yeah, that is true.
So yeah, that's kind of sad, but it is just going like, well, she's a woman with power, so like like Wonder Woman. It's like, well,
yeah,
okay,
exactly. There you go. Xena Warrior Princess.
Just like
every character, Xena Warrior
Princess. It's so lazy. It's in the same thing as every movie is just Die Hard. So this movie, there's not much to say about it really. Do you want to go through the few lame one-liners that are in it?
Sure. Yeah, let's do it.
At the end of the movie, by the way, I just want to where we land on Gary Oldman is they just go, yeah, you're not under house arrest anymore. You're now just going to regular prison, and that's his comeuppance. Because
like,
he's
no.
Because he has no involvement in the plot, so there can't be a fight with him or anything, and also he wouldn't do it because that would be not sitting.
Exactly. Yeah.
So okay, the couple one-liners that are and for no reason Dermot Mulroney's crooked. Why? That thing at the end when he's gonna go kill him, but then the courier is there.
Oh yeah, I completely forgot about that.
Because who cares? At that point the movie's over. What is with that? We don't even know. He's only been in like 2 scenes too. What does it matter?
Yeah, we have no investment. Yeah, every time a character is revealed to be crooked, I'm just like, well, I don't know who this is, so I don't care about the gravity of this reveal.
Because that actually will lead me to our first
set up that kind of shit.
That will lead me to the first one-liner, which is you initially meet the blonde woman who's an FBI agent, and she ends up being crooked before it gets handed off to the guy who ends up sort of the main villain of the movie. And she gets caught because Olga Kurylenko takes her gas mask. She's choking on the poison gas, and she's on the radio to the guy who ends up being the main bad guy. And she goes, I'm dying. And he says, then die. Yeah. Here's another indication, much like the there's also a scene where Olga Kurylenko gets kicked in the crotch, or like stomped in one of the fight scenes, and I thought, well, you don't see that in too many movies.
That's true. I don't even remember it, so I don't even think
it stood out to me, and I backed up because I'm like, did I just see that? Okay. All right.
Okay.
But once again, another indication this movie is it's a strong female character, but don't forget this movie is made by exclusively men. When she gives the witness her bulletproof vest, so she takes off her vest, which of course, for some reason, she only has a bra on underneath the vest, which makes no sense.
Yeah, that what are you talking about? She's Special Forces, John. I'm assuming she knows what she's doing.
But of course, so she hands him a vest, so she's just in her bra, and she goes, "Nice view?" ? Because the guy's looking at her. And then later, that same guy, when they fall out of a shaft, like an air vent shaft, will end up accidentally grabbing her boobs.
Were we supposed to believe that they were like going to be an item by the end of this?
God,
were we supposed to be like?
If that's the case, they completely failed at that.
Because there's like a couple of moments, but they really, really leave it to die by the end of the film. So,
yeah.
I was confused as to why these were in there at all, other than to objectify her.
This one I love because it's really dumb. Number one, it's what she says is dumb, and the question is dumb too. She cuts open the gas tank of a car, so it's spilling gasoline, and then she lights a match, and the guy says, "What are you doing?" Hilarious. But he says, "What are you doing?" She goes, "Boom." Stealing Luis Guzman's iconic line.
Get out of here.
Yeah.
Get out of here. That's not allowed.
That line is sacred. That delivery of the word boom is sacred. That's a classic moment in cinema.
You knew what you were doing, Zachary Adler, when you stole that and put it in your shitty movie, okay?
The only thing that the other one feels like an Oldman ad lib, and it's when his daughter is like, "Whoa, hey man, we've there's the scene where she goes, look, it's all gonna be fine. We got rid of that witness," and she's popping the champagne. He goes, "We haven't gotten confirmation of that. Put that champagne away." And then he walks around a corner, and from around the corner, you just hear him go, "And go to your room."
I must admit, I did actually laugh.
I did too. That. But didn't that feel like it was just like the camera was still rolling and Oldman threw in another one? And that's
yes.
I'm willing to say I also laughed at that, but I'm also going to guess that they didn't write that, and that was Oldman who made me laugh. And go to your room.
Very much so, yeah. And go to your room, yeah. The timing of it was very, very good.
Yeah,
yeah.
Well,
that was all.
Oldman knows what he's doing, believe it or not.
Yeah.
And then finally we have when she's shooting out with the guy, she says, "Next time I put a bullet in you, it will be the last," which is pretty lame.
Lame.
It's too bad because I do like Olga Kurylenko. I think she actually is good in action roles. It's just this. I mean, there's nothing to play here. It doesn't matter how good you are.
No, and I'm assuming because all of the acting is generally bad. It's safe to assume that there was either no help from the director or he was actively making it worse by making them do things.
Well, and I'm going to assume, based on how horrible the action's cut together, I'm going to put some of it on this editor, too, for choosing bad takes, because he clearly doesn't know what he's doing.
Who's the real villain here? That's my question.
Yeah, well, this is the thing right? When it's just like, all right, who do we blame? Who do we have to call about this?
It's a bunch of Spider-Mans pointing at each other, being like, who fucked up, okay? Who's responsible for this
There are,
shit?
by the way, 5 credited screenwriters on this, so it makes you think, was there a good version of this script at some point, and then it just kept getting chipped away? I don't know. Or
look at the credits that the other writers.
All right, so we had Zachary Adler. Let's look at James Edward Barker.
So James Edward Barker has a lot of credits, but they're all for composing music.
Isn't that interesting? This is one of only this is his first screenplay credit, and he has one other movie in development called By the way, The Vanishment. That's almost as bad as Avengement.
That's pretty bad.
The Vanishment.
That's pretty bad.
Yes, he did do before you ask, he did do the score for this movie, and it made no impression on me at all.
It was distracting. There was a few scenes where he was literally detracting from a Gary Oldman like sleepy performance because it was so aggressively like mediocre.
So let's look at the two guys who wrote the original draft before James Edward Barker and Zachary Adler come on and rewrite it. Oh, by the way, the one-liner of the movie is "Go to your room," right?
Yes, well, 100%.
Yeah, there's no question about that.
There's no discussion. Yeah.
So here, Andy Conway has written Nothing I've Ever Heard of.
5 films.
Yeah.
The 5 movies.
And I don't know any of those. Nikki Tate has written...
Oh, wait, excuse me, 4.
Nikki Tate, this is his only credit, his first and last credit. And Andrew Pendergast, who gets the screenplay credit, is primarily a producer and also has done basically nothing. But did write a movie called Evil Elvis that I'm now kind of curious about. Oh, man, and wrote something called... Talk about aliens. He wrote a movie called Parasite that just looks like it's an alien on a oil platform.
Parasite. Not to be confused with the Parasite that came out the same year as this movie.
Apparently, this guy only writes movies with the titles of other better movies. I'll also write a movie called Parasite. This movie's terrible, and worse than it being bad, as you're saying, it's just boring and forgettable. This movie is
boring.
Not worth anyone's time. It's not even really that fun to make fun of. So, this one you can leave in the trash.
This is very much the Simpsons joke. Stop it! It's already dead.
Yeah, it is sort of like this is. I just have. It's sort of like I can't even get the energy to like really like bash on this thing.
Yeah, because talking about it makes me sleepy.
Much like Gary Oldman being in this movie made him sleepy.
Exactly. Yeah. Oh wait, before we move on though, should we talk about the one scene where Gary Oldman removes the eye patch? Do we want to mention that?
We do, because I'm glad you brought that up, because we almost forgot about it. I want to ask you about that, because I think this movie thinks that scene is like introspective and artsy, but I don't know anything about his character, so who the fuck?
Nope.
But
we don't know why his eye. So his eye is fucked up in some way.
Yeah. It looks like it's gone.
Very clear.
Like, it looks like it's just an empty socket. I can't...
I think so. I think it was supposed to be an empty socket, but you do see him blink
Yeah,
that side.
that's what got me, because it's not.
Very
I mean,
bad
once again,
CG.
I understand the technology. The budget is nothing here, and I'm about to compare it to
Sure.
the biggest budget of things. But like when Nick Fury takes his eye patch off in the Marvel movies, it's like a really designed thing. Even before you know
Yeah.
what happened to it, you can see. You have an idea of what happened to it. It's got like
Yes.
scars down his face, and his eye is all whited out, and you're like, oh, something. It makes you go, what happened to this guy? Here, I was just like, what?
Yes.
Like you are intrigued by the Nick Fury one, or it's something we also talked about. We're both huge fans of the movie Inglourious Bastards, and the rope burn on Aldo Rain's neck, and it doesn't get explained, but you're just like, ooh, what happened?
Something happened. There's
a story there.
Yeah.
Here, I don't go, there must be a story. I just go, well, this is weird.
Yeah, that side of his face is sleepier than the rest of his face.
But that's the thing, is the movie plays it like, and he takes the eye patch off slow, and is it supposed to be him like reckoning with the monster in the mirror or something? I think that's what the director
I think so,
would
yeah,
say.
because he is staring in the mirror.
Yeah. What have I
And,
become?
and weirdly enough, the Michael Jackson song "I'm Staring at the Man in the Mirror" is playing,
with the man
which is a
in
weird.
the mirror.
Yeah, it was a weird needle drop, but I think
Maybe
I
that's
thought
where the budget went. Oh man.
Okay, let's stop talking about this film.
Well,
we
I got some. Listen, we got some people who have some misguided opinions of this movie, though.
John, how could anybody like this movie? I don't. Sometimes I'm like, okay, I understand there can be differing opinions. Some of these movies, there's at least enjoyable elements, but this is one of those movies where I don't understand how anybody who sees this is like,
well,
yeah.
Get ready to this review actively makes me mad. So, because it references things I like a lot. So,
good.
Here, this comes to us from IMDb user Rory White. And the review is titled "Simple, Very Well Wrought Plot. Korolenko and Adler, riveting, humorous, and kinda epic." That's the title. Very well wrought. Olga Kurylenko showing an unexpected different facet of her thespian chops than I've personally seen before. Once again, I like Olga Kurylenko, but using the word thespian in relation to this.
Thespian chops.
Yeah. Okay. Now I'm gonna get mad. I was very impressed by her performance by the end. Classic theme out of Kurosawa, or maybe the accidental symbol dynamics of the first Die Hard, much as I hate giving too much credit to the latter comparison. I'm sorry. He brings up Kurosawa and then bashes on Die Hard in connection to this movie.
I don't. Wait, how is this like Kurosawa? Is this like
get
Seven
ready?
Samurai,
Here we go.
Oh, okay.
Yes, and maybe the Kurosawa comparison is a bit heady, but if you visualize the same plot carried out by the likes of such a female version of Toshiro Mifune, and everybody wielded samurai swords and stuff, well, it's kind of the same thing.
Well, if every single thing about the movie was completely different, then yeah, it's just like Kurosawa.
Do not bring Kurosawa and Toshiro Mifune into this. Are you fucking kidding me? There's more. Olga Kurylenko and the unlikely and at first totally unlikable, adding another offbeat edge, co-star she is saving, both evolve into an odd couple plot-wise, and Kurylenko shows a wide range of odd, humorous parentheses amidst the blood and gore action acting chops that I've never seen her allowed to do in a film. This is the least amount of acting I've seen her do in a film. So I don't know.
Yeah.
I was impressed. Gary Oldman plays the master bad guy, and a silver-haired, wizened Dermot Mulroney handily plays his simple, but not as simple as it first appears role as the head of police. It makes me contemplate Kurylenko. She could surprise everyone with what she could do in her acting career. Maybe she already has, and I simply haven't seen that many good examples. Bravo to the director for weaving the story. Simple like a 17-syllable Japanese poem with machine guns. 10 out of 10 stars.
Okay. You could have just said haiku. We know.
No. 17-syllable Japanese poem. It's a haiku with machine guns, Lisman, is this guy's pull quote.
Well, what I'm saying is he could have just said it's a haiku with machine gun. He didn't have.
Well, the writing is douchey and he's insane. But Listman,
do you think Zachary Adler reads this review to himself as he falls asleep every night?
I will say though, there are 8 other 10-star reviews of this movie.
What?
Yeah. Well, and there's a lot of like hot chick on a motorcycle, nice. Mm-hmm. That's kind of what I expected them all to be, you know.
Yes, there's one by Zachary Zadler.
I thought the filmmaking was very interesting, and you know.
This director is groundbreaking.
But those 9 people aren't the only people who enjoyed this movie. It's time to head over to Amazon.com and check in with our favorite reviewer there, a man named Bruce Winning, for yet another segment of The Winning Opinion. Here we go. This is Bruce's thoughts on the movie The Courier. And I think right off the bat, you'll enjoy just the title of this. There is quite a bit of action. That's the title.
Okay.
I like the action and violence. I like the fast-moving vehicles. I really enjoy all the shooting. I can't get enough punching and kicking. There is plenty in this movie. Fire is a nice touch with subsequent explosions. Amazon Prime is doing perfectly for me with the recommendations by showing what I like on my television. 5 out of 5 stars.
There was a Man on Fire, which we forgot.
Yeah,
and
we do love that. We do love a Man on Fire. That was pretty good, and that guy did seem to actually be on fire, so I'll give him that.
Sure.
Fire is a nice touch with subsequent explosion.
So here's the thing. Mm-hmm. This is what I love about Bruce, okay? There's no pretension. There's no trying to connect it to greater, better works.
Bruce is a man of simple
these
tastes.
Movies
yeah.
For what exactly he appreciates them for what they are, not for what they could be or should be.
Correct. Yeah.
I would read a million Bruce Winning reviews before I read another one from the guy who wrote the previous one.
Agreed.
Or whatever I don't even want to say his name.
Yeah. No, totally agreed.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because, Bruce is just here going, I want to see action and violence on my screen, and that is what they're giving me, so I am satisfied.
There is punching.
Own it, man.
There's punching, kicking, and shooting. Yeah, exactly.
You be you, Bruce.
Exactly.
You be you, man.
Yeah.
So that's that. Obviously we don't recommend anyone watches this, but maybe let's say maybe things could be improved if they got another shot at telling a different Courier story.
Yeah.
What do you think, listeners? Should we fire up our handy dandy action movie title generator and come up with a brand new movie that will once again see the character? I don't think she's given a name. I think she's just the Courier, isn't she?
Mm-hmm. I believe so.
Yeah, so we'll have the Courier return in. I'm going to fire this up now. And here we go. Let's see what's it. Ooh, this is interesting. Okay, I don't know. I don't know where this is going to take us. It's the Courier : Adopting the Town.
Okay. Adopting Town.
Well, I immediately go to one of my favorite movies, The Town, the Ben Affleck film.
Yes.
And in that, the town is Boston. So let's send her to Boston.
Yes. We're sending her to Boston. So this was in New York. She's going a little north to Boston, to Old Bean Town.
Boston.
Now she is adopting
the town.
What about this? She is a courier. She has to deliver something.
Right.
Let's fulfill the promise of she needs to get from point A to point B throughout the movie. So
she needs to get like
a lot of motorcycle.
And it's the whole thing where it's
action.
like from this point, adopting the town. Maybe it's a thing where it's like maybe we start her right on this. She has to get from New York to Boston.
Ooh, yes. She has a deed or something.
Yes.
Or the key to the city. I don't know.
Yeah. And
I have no idea.
Irish mobster Eric Roberts, who's going for it with a wicked Boston accent.
He's going for it with a wicked Boston accent. He's like, this city is mine, and I'm going to take it over, and there's not anything to do unless somebody can, perchance, pull up a deed of some sort.
That's it exactly. There it is. He's adopting the city, or he's adopting the town,
yeah.
right? Because he's going to take over the town unless unless who else is in it that is trying that has proper ownership over the city.
Barry Bostwick.
Barry Bostwick, defamed mayor of the town, playing into his Spin City role.
Exactly. Yes.
So that's the thing where it's like, actually, I have. Maybe it's the thing where it's like, maybe it's not a deed. Maybe it's somehow she has evidence that proves he did win the mayoral election.
Ooh, yes. Okay, so Eric Roberts, this is feeding into certain corners of the internet that have various conspiracies.
Right.
But Eric Roberts cheated in the election.
Right.
For mayor of Boston, and she has the evidence. Yeah. So she has to get it to the courthouse up in Boston.
Maybe we make it like it's like a reporter who gets killed. So it's like the Woodward and Bernstein. They've cracked it, but they get killed, and she has to get the evidence.
Exactly.
Because he scrubbed all the digital files, so she has the physical files that are all that remains of the evidence.
Yes. Okay. I mean, this is what the movie should have been.
This is way better. Yeah, I like this movie a lot more.
This is way better.
This one would actually have a lot of motorcycle chases and stuff like that.
I want that. I want a motorcycle jumping maybe through a helicopter.
Oh, now we're talking.
The two doors are open.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, so she threw a helicopter. It'd be cool.
I like it. I like it.
Yeah. I don't know.
All right. Well, there you go. That's the Courier adopting the town. Well, listen, next week on the show, which was supposed to be this week's episode, so it got teased in the Megaforce episode, but you weren't here, so this is the first you're hearing about this, unless you looked, of course, on our document that says what all the movies we're doing here. But
I would never.
This, I believe, I think, is this correct? I think this is our first, at least, superhero-adjacent movie. This is a superhero movie of sorts, and I do love superheroes, as you know, so... we are talking about next week's movie is Avengers Grimm. Grimm. That's right.
It's the Grimm fairy tales, but they're superhero.
Yes, it is an Avengers-esque team of Grimm fairy tales characters.
It's trying to be a cinematic universe, of course.
Oh, this is there's a sequel, so don't worry, folks.
Little Red Riding Hood, the Big Bad Wolf, Humpty Dumpty,
Yeah, who do we have? Yeah, who do we have here? Well, don't you know? Perfect casting. Castra Van Dien is Rumpelstiltskin.
Okay, that's not who I would have cast, but okay, all right.
Yeah, but how about Lou Ferrigno, spray painted silver, playing Iron John?
I don't know.
And then, of course, the team up of sexy badass ladies: Snow White, Cinderella, Sleeping Beauty, and Rapunzel coming to save the day.
Okay.
This is gonna be terrible.
This is gonna be truly abysmal.
But it's a way different. We've never really covered this kind of movie before, so.
That's true.
This is
speaking of public domain.
Is this ever? True. And wouldn't you know, this came out right around the same time as Avengers: Age of Ultron. Interesting choice from the good folks over at The Asylum.
Oh, this is gonna be a classic.
Yeah, we always talk about The Asylum makes so many movies that, if we aren't careful, we could only cover their movies. So we try to
do a podcast just about them. Yeah.
And they have so many classic superhero adjacent movies like Sinister Squad, Avenging Force, Captain Battle.
Captain Battle.
Captain Battle is great, but even better than him is Metal Man.
Metal Man.
Rise of the Black Bat. So yes. There are. They've been making more. They've been making more superhero movies than I initially thought. So we'll check this out. I'm going to give.
And they're all part of the same cinematic universe. I'm assuming.
I think so. I have no idea, but I think this is going to kick things off for the Grim Avengers cinematic universe. I will as Brandon was also disappointed. Listman, I'm going to give you the extremely lame tagline.
Okay, sounds good.
A battle of legendary proportions. Now that's bolded, all caps, legendary.
Okay, sure.
So get ready, folks. It's a big one next week. All 86 minutes of Avengers Grim.
Yeesh.
Yeah, yeesh indeed.
Oh,
yeah, I have no idea what to expect. Well, I have some idea of what to expect from this, I should say. And if we like it, we can watch Avengers Grim: Time Wars.
Oh no.
Yeah. I do kind of want to watch Metal Man. And
so they each have their own movies? Is that they each have their own? Metal Man has his own movie.
Yeah. Captain Battle.
Rapunzel, or not Rapunzel, but
well, there's two separate. The Grimm thing is its own thing that they have sequels to.
Okay.
But then there are all the other ones I mentioned come together in a group called Avenging Force.
Okay. Gotcha.
So this is not wait, I forgot the most powerful member of the Avenging Force. Where did I just see that? Hold on, damn it. I want to get this right because I want to make sure I get the correct amount of stupid on it. God damn it. What is it? I believe it's the Incredible Bulk. Is that right? I think that's right.
Should we? Okay.
We need to do a month where we just do the Asylum universe. Obviously,
that's what I'm saying.
If we can survive,
we do a month building up to the Avengement Force, where it's everybody coming together.
Yeah, and that's
Okay.
Boy, oh boy. Well, let's maybe hold off on that until we watch this and see how well it goes, and then we'll go forward.
Yeah, okay.
We'll see how well we handle the Grim Avengers, and then we'll get to Avenging Force.
Okay.
But yes, that's next week on the show. First time we're talking about Lou Ferrigno, which is what actually prompted that.
Shocking.
So, yeah, I know. Yeah. It's amazing. So yeah, you don't want to miss that episode. And of course, if you want to hear us talk about good action movies, you can go to our Patreon page, patreon.podbean.com. There we do a weekly show called The Last to Be Curious, where we're currently watching through all of the Fast and the Furious films leading up to the release of the new one. So those are
The Last of the Furious. Can't wait to see it.
But that's going to do it for this week's episode of The Action Shelf. I'm John Campbell.
I'm Michael Listman.
Till next week, get yourself some action.
The Action Shelf. The Action Shelf.